Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. What's going on, everybody? I mean, it's been a minute since I did a show, and thank y'all so much for being here. This is the podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate you all spending your time with yours truly. Back from vacation, man. Back from vacation. I went to Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Tuskegee and Montgomery, Alabama. Visit my wife's family, and we just did a little vacationing. We took the Pac-Man to the aquarium and around Atlanta, so it was a good time, man. It was a time to kind of just lay back, reflect, and what I'm saying, just try to spend time with the family. And be honest with y'all, Who That Nation, I was completely out of the loop. There's probably a lot of stories that you all probably want to talk about. I mean, I couldn't tell you, if I was spending most of my time with my family. But I'm back, man. I'm back to talk about the New Orleans Saints or whatever you all have to talk about. We're going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later in the show. Want to hear from you all, just to hear your perspective about some of the things that transpired. But we're going to be talking about running backs. We're going to be talking about running backs on the State of the Saints podcast. The reason I want to talk about running backs is because, quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about everything else, right? It's always, the Saints going to draft a quarterback. It's going to be, all the Saints going to get a wide receiver, offensive lineman. It's like the same things over and over again, man. And, it's one position that a lot of people aren't talking about in the Who That Nation. That's the running back position. And the running back position is extremely important, especially since we know about the little issue that happened with Alvin Kamara during the Pro Bowl. We know that most likely a suspension is imminent, and you're going to need a running back in order to fill the void. All right. If you're not going to get it via trade, if you're not going to get it from, a guy on the team, it's best for you to try to look at a guy in the draft. So I'm going to be talking about the top 5 guys. This is my list. Okay. I want to make this very, very clear. The top 5 guys I feel like would be a very good fit for the New Orleans Saints. All right. This list, is compiled of guys that I feel like fit the Saints offensive scheme. All right. We know that the Saints like a certain type of running back, right? There's guys that fit that mold, that ability to be able to do some of the things that, the Saints offense needs them to do. So this top 5 that I came up with is a group of guys that I feel like would be a really, really great fit for the New Orleans Saints. So want to go ahead and put this list up on the screen. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I apologize, folks. Here it is. All right. So this is the State of the Saints podcast, top 5 running backs that I feel would be a really good fit for the New Orleans Saints. Okay. This is in no particular order. Okay. I want to make that very, very clear. This is in no particular order. I didn't say, oh, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is just 5 guys that I really felt would be a really good fit. So looking at this list, I mean, some of you probably look at some of these guys and like, yeah, I know who they are. They're probably on my list. All right. So, I mean, you got Kenneth Walker III from Michigan State, Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama. You got Samir White, rather, out of Georgia. You got Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M, and you got Damian Pierce out of Florida. These are the guys that I feel like would be a good fit. All right. So each one of these guys I'm going to break down, and I'm going to tell you why they will be a good fit. All right. I'm going to start at the bottom with Damian Pierce. Damian Pierce played, at Florida. Big physical guy. He's about 6 feet, about 215, 220 pounds. And what he did really, really well was running between the tackles and catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay. You had a lot of the option read going on at Florida, with that dual quarterback set that they had. He was a guy that could run between the tackles, catch the ball out of the backfield. If you're missing Alvin Kamara, this can be a guy that can fit that mold. All right. And also, he's a physical guy. He's a physical guy. I mean, I think a lot of us probably remember him. If you remember Damian Pierce, that play where his helmet was ripped off and he still dived head first into the end zone. So that type of intensity, that's what you actually want on your squad. You know what I'm saying? Like you want a guy that is, that passionate, that physical, right? And his ability to catch the ball out of backfield. Now, I will say this. One thing that I feel like he needs to work on, based on some of the things that I've seen, was his pass protection. And you're probably going to hear this quite a bit when it comes to some of these guys. His pass protection needs work. I think that some of his, I think his eyes probably need a little work, finding a hole. He's a one cut back. He's not going to shake you. He's not going to do any Reggie Bush or Barry Sanders type stuff, but what he will do is run you over, So those are some things I feel like he needs to work on, but I think that he would be a good fit, go alongside a guy like Mark Ingram, a guy that has that mode, and he can be that guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield, probably until Alvin Kamara gets back. And then, once, you decide what you're going to do with Mark Ingram, he would be a good fit because he's able to run in between the tackles, and he does have that big physical body, that, Mark Ingram possesses. Next would be Isaiah Spiller. A lot of people in this draft have Isaiah Spiller like ranked as one of the top 3 best running backs that's coming out of the draft. Isaiah Spiller, I think his claim to fame came from that game where Texas A&M upset Alabama. That was his coming out party. But he really has been a really good running back throughout his career at Texas A&M. He's a guy that's extremely elusive. He's a bigger guy, but he has a little bit more wiggle than a guy like a Damian Pierce. He's a guy that can make a guy miss. He's really good, at catching the ball out of the backfield. One thing that I feel like he needs to work on is ball security. I've seen he had quite a few fumbles. That's something, that he might need to work on. And we know that ball security is very, very important for the running back position. You're getting the ball, you're getting all those carries. You want to make sure that you hold the ball high and tight. So that's something that he needs to work on. And also, he needs to improve, of course, in pass protection. But what he can do is, he's extremely elusive. He has a really good mind at the running back position. He can find the hole, and he has really good balance. So I think that would be a good fit for the New Orleans Saints as well. We're going to take a brief break and go into the comments and see what you all have to say, in regards to some of the guys, and as well as anything that you have to, have to say. Jared Poor says, watching the Pelicans Suns game. Oh, yeah, I know that game is on right now, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the main reasons why, a lot of people aren't here right now. But, look, I'm excited. I'm extremely elated for the Pelicans. I think that this, it's been a magical year for them. A lot of people wrote these guys off, but I'm just glad that they actually got the opportunity, man, to get into the postseason. And last game they upset the Suns, so hopefully we can, try to pull off that upset. Hope you enjoyed your vacation. I need one myself, says Key. Jerry says, who that? Tyrone says, shout out. I guess he's saying shout out. Who that for life says, you think the Saints should trade for Kadarius Toney? Look, Kadarius Toney is a really good, talented, wide receiver coming out of the University of Florida. Had a couple, really good games, showed a lot of flashes before he ended up getting hurt. It wouldn't hurt, to have a guy like Kadarius Toney. I mean, he's going into his second season. He's still on his rookie deal. He can be with you for, a few years. But, I think that you can get a guy that has that type of ability at the wide receiver position in a draft, and it doesn't cost you anything. I understand that Kadarius Toney is talented, but you can find, a Chris Olave. You can find a Pickens. You can find guys that have a similar skill set, if not even better skill set than Kadarius Toney. It seems like it's a fire sale going on in New York. I understand what they're trying to do. You got a new coach, a new philosophy. So he's probably trying to go in a completely different direction. And we all know that in those bigger markets, they don't really have a lot of patience, and neither does their front office staff. So I think this is their way to try to shake some things up. If he is, up for a trade, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be out there very long. He's a young, talented guy, and he plays with a chip on his shoulder. So that's always a recipe for success. And I think that whoever gets him, they're going to have one heck of a wide receiver. But me personally, I don't think the Saints need him. I don't. Who that? Jerry, Tyrone saying, what's up? We can get those guys round 3 and 5. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, Jerry. That's what I'm referring to. The running back position. Because once again, I'm just getting tired of watching everybody talk about the quarterback position or the Saints need a quarterback. Look, I don't fall into that category. I think the Saints will be just fine. I'm a Jameis Winston supporter. I like Jameis Winston. I think that Jameis Winston is the answer. You get some offensive weapons around this guy. You get a good running game, good offensive line, and I think that Jameis can get you where you need to be. Some pundits, they just all do not feel like Jameis Winston is the answer. They're just the way that they roll, man. I'm not rolling like that. What I seen out of Jameis Winston was a guy who came to a new system and showed promise in his first starting season. So I don't understand why people aren't judging him based on what he was in the Saints uniform, and everybody's still looking at him in Tampa. He hasn't been in Tampa. This would be almost 3 years. So why are we still judging this dude based on what he did in Tampa when he showed you he had a lot of promise in New Orleans? And like I said, I'm just getting tired of talking about the same thing. We know that the Saints need a wide receiver. We know that they need an offensive line. We know they need left tackle. We know they need pieces on the offense, right? But we're not really talking about the running back position, which I feel is very, very important. The New Orleans Saints have really done a good job in those later rounds getting those running backs, guys that can contribute. I mean, we see Alvin Kamara back in 2017. He was a 3rd-round pick, right? You got some of these other guys who have come in, the Saints have gotten, and these guys have really done a good job. And, even guys that they got as undrafted free agents, like guys like Devon Ozigbo. All right, he was pretty good for the Saints. It was just a loaded backfield, and he wasn't able to make the team. And it wasn't because he wasn't good enough. It was the fact that the Saints were loaded. And so the Saints they really do a good job finding some of these guys, and they do a really good job at it, man. So I'm hoping that they can find a guy like that, maybe in the 3rd round, heck, even in the 2nd round, because I look at it like this. Okay, we know that the Saints most likely, if they do the right thing, are going to get a wide receiver and tackle. All right. And some people feel like in the 2nd round, they're going to go out here and try to get themselves a safety. Well, what if they flip that up, switch it up? What if they get a guy like Kenneth Walker, right? What if they get him in the 2nd round and you find yourself, getting, like the safety, out of Cincinnati, right? You get somebody like that. I mean, everybody thinks that he's probably most likely going to be like a 3rd-round pick. So you can probably get yourself a really good quality safety in the 3rd round. And if you look at, history, it shows you that the Saints really do a really good job at drafting guys late in like 3rd round and stuff like that. Guys come in right away and they contribute, right? Once again, Alvin Kamara, he came in the 3rd round, right? So you can find guys, in the 3rd round to be able to fill that void. And not to mention, I mean, you got some quality guys that are out there in the secondary right now. So if the Saints want to get a guy, at the running back position in the 2nd round, I wouldn't be mad at that, right? If you find a guy that can, be, a guy that can be a complimentary running back, right? A guy that can fill that void. While Alvin Kamara, if he gets suspended, he can come in and give you that type of production, go alongside of Mark Ingram. And then just in case Mark goes down, he can be a guy that can carry that load. So that's something that the Saints might want to look at. And I wouldn't even get mad. I know that sounds crazy, but if you can get a guy in the 2nd round, and he can play and he can ball out, would you care? Right? I mean, some people probably, get upset like, man, why, man? We need this in the 2nd round, right? We need a safety. But if this guy comes in and he plays really well, I mean, we're going to be like, man, that was a good decision. So that's just the way that it works sometimes, man. It's not just the AK issue. Ingram seen his better days. We could use some fresh talent. Yeah, I mean, Tuggraph, that's true. We do need some talent. We do need some talent at the running back position, and that's a good point. That's what I just mentioned. If you get a guy Alvin Kamara gets suspended. Mark Ingram, God bless him, has been a great New Orleans Saint throughout his career. He plays. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be the starter. But if he goes down, you have a young guy, right? And this is what leads me to my next point right here. The next few guys on my list, right? Samir White out of Georgia. This guy to me reminds me of Mark Ingram, right? He's a big physical guy. He's not going to shake you out your shoes. He's not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not super elusive, but he will run you over. And he's not afraid of contact. He reminds me a lot of Marion Barber. Now, that type of physicality that he runs with is not going to give you a long shelf life as a running back. But he definitely runs with reckless abandon. Sometimes I feel like he even looks, to absorb the blow. Like he looks to try to run somebody over. I like this type of running back late in games when a game is on the line and you're just trying to wear out the clock. Samir White is one of those away running backs. And what I mean by away running backs is when you're on the road and the crowd is going crazy and you get yourself a lead and it's the fourth quarter and you need about 5 minutes left on the clock, right? And you got to milk that clock. He's one of the guys you can hand that ball to and get you that first down and wear down that defense. He is a big physical running back. And those are the guys that I really appreciate. He's one of those classic running backs because now you don't have a lot of running backs out there who are looking to get that type of, to try to run somebody over. They're trying to get out of somebody's way. Samir White is one of those throwback running backs. So I think he would be a good fit. I like his physicality. I really do. And I think, like I said, he reminds me of Marion Barber. So if you're looking for somebody to be a complimentary back to Alvin Kamara, he probably would be the best, to me. Me too, watching the game. Yeah, I know the game is on right now. Can somebody tell me the score? Can somebody tell me the score of the game? Don't forget about running back James Cook from Georgia, the brother of Dalvin Cook. Jerry, I didn't forget about him. That's a good, and I'll tell you why. And I knew somebody was going to mention that. And let me see if I can find him on this list right here. And I'm going to get this so I can share it with you all. All right. So this James Cook right here, like Jerry alluded to, he is the brother of Dalvin Cook, a very talented running back from Minnesota, 5'11", 190 pounds, right? 5'11", 190 pounds. That is one of the biggest issues that I have with him. That's the reason why he wasn't on the list. If you look at some of the guys that are on my list, Jerry, and I go back to the list, these guys are around 215, 220. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you got a guy like Alvin, right? I just feel like if you have Alvin and you got a guy like, Cooks, right? If you got a guy like Cook, I feel like they one and the same. They kind of fit that same mold. Now, Alvin is about 210, 215, but he's still on the smaller side. I feel like if you get yourself a tall, physical running back, I don't feel like Cook fits that mold. And that's the reason why I didn't put him on the list. There's so many other talented guys that I could have put on this list, but I just feel like you need that thunder and lightning dynamic, right? I go back to the New York Giants when they was going on those Super Bowl runs. They had Ahmad Bradshaw and they had Brandon Jacobs. Ahmad Bradshaw was the kind of the catch the ball out of the backfield, 190, 200-pound running back. And then you had a guy like Brandon Jacobs who was the sledgehammer. He was the 6'1", 6'2", 230, 240-pound running back. When the defense is tired of chasing around my Bradshaw, here come Brandon Jacobs up the middle, punching you in the mouth over and over again. So I just think that is what teams need. I think that you need a complement of one another. I just feel like James Cook and and Alvin Kamara are cut from the same cloth. And I just think that even though Alvin is going to serve that suspension, I look at guys like, okay, Alvin is going to come back. He's going to come back and he's going to want his spot back. And he's going to get his spot back. I mean, you're paying Alvin top dollar to be your featured back. So that is one reason why I was like, okay, James Cook, if Alvin comes back, is there like a play for him, right? Because Alvin is going to get the majority of the touches, but when Alvin goes out, you basically substitute him for the same type of running back. So that's the reason why I didn't put him on the list. And this isn't the top 5 running backs in the draft. If this was the top 5 running backs in the draft to me, then James Cook would be on the list. I'm talking about what would be a really good fit and would be able to sustain itself for, into the future. And that is, why I feel like, these guys are on the list. That's the reason why James Cook, in my opinion, didn't make the list. Not because of his talent. It's because he kind of the same, he fits that same mold. And even if, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be 190 when he gets into the NFL. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get up to 205, they probably put about 15 more pounds on him, put him at 205. That's a good respectable size for a running back of his abilities, right? To catch the ball out of backfield, elusive type running back. But I'm looking for a guy that's like 6'1", 6'2", the big physical guys that's going to wear somebody down and be a complement of Alvin Kamara, right? And not like, okay, he's going to replace Alvin, but then when Alvin gets back, like, what you going to do with this guy? So that's the reason why I put him on the list. Not because he's not talented. It's mostly about his size, and he's just like Alvin, in my opinion. I agree, TJ. Just build around Jameis. Yeah, I mean, we got to build around Jameis Winston. I mean, forget about all these other guys. And I just don't want the Saints to fall into that mode. And I get it, right? Dennis Allen, brand new coach, probably one of his players, but Jameis is a guy who you can build around. Jameis wants to be great. Jameis has the ability to be great. And I don't want the Saints to be around this thing chasing something that they have the whole entire time. Don't be around here chasing something that you already got. Jameis has the ability to be good. I just feel like you need the right coaching around you. I mean, it's no different than anything in your life. Sometimes, people have those tools. You have their tools. You have the tools to be great at a certain job. You have those tools to be great at a certain sport. You just need somebody to bring that out of you. And sometimes you might get into the hands of somebody that may not be able to bring that out of you. They probably see it in you, but they just can't bring it out. I just feel like the circumstance in which Jameis is in New Orleans, the Saints can bring it out of him. But it's all about him wanting to do it, which I know he does, and the Saints willing to be able to invest in him. And you invest in him by going out here putting weapons around him. Don't give Jameis, the bare minimum and be like, man, this ain't our year, like Jameis, whatever. Look, give him all the weapons he need at his disposal to be successful. And if it doesn't pan out, then you already know. Maybe we just need to go in a different direction. But if you're not giving him the weapons and you're not building around him, how do you know that he's not the guy? Right? I mean, you can have a situation that happened in Detroit, right? It wasn't a good franchise. They weren't doing the best things in order to make the franchise a playoff contender. Matthew Stafford goes to Los Angeles, where he's surrounded by talent, offensively and defensively, and he's able to do enough in order to get these guys a championship. So who's to say that Jameis can't do that? And don't give me that stuff about, well, Matthew Stafford is different. I mean, look, Matthew Stafford is talented, but so is Jameis. And both of them, to me, came from bad circumstances. And one of them was replaced by the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, right? You know what I mean? So it's just two different situations. It's not many guys, right, are going to keep their job. If you're in the middle of the road or average or trying to figure it out, And then there's a guy out there that wants to play for a franchise who is, just so happened to be the greatest quarterback that ever played the game of football, right? So I don't feel bad about that. I don't. I don't feel like anybody should knock Jameis for that, because there are more teams that would have made that decision. If for the exception of Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and maybe Josh Allen, there's not many teams out there that wouldn't have made a phone call about Tom Brady. So there it is. Give this guy an opportunity, build a team around him, and let this guy show you what he's made of. And don't just buy into what some of these pundits are saying, because as time has shown, they don't know what they're talking about. And then for the most part, everybody's just trying to look for likes and follows and attention and be able to appease to the sponsors. So a lot of these takes that these guys have, not really their personal views. It's just kind of like Jameis is low-hanging fruit, and we're going to go ahead and pick on him because, controversy creates cash, and the more controversial the take, the more people I can tick off about the take, the more attention comes on it. So I just think that they need to give this guy an opportunity. Jameis, you can build around him. That's just my honest opinion. James Cook kind of reminds me of Kamara. Randy, that's my whole point. Why would you want one? I mean, why would you want the same guy? Where's the complementary in that, right? You want a guy that is elusive, catch the ball out of backfield, has that certain skill set, and then you have a guy that can hit somebody in the mouth. Everybody can't be Barry Sanders, right? Everybody can't be Barry Sanders. Everybody can't be Reggie Bush when he was at USC. You need guys that can be that sledgehammer and wear down these defenses. You're right. You got to be able to wear down that front. You need a guy, even if he's not, getting 20, 30 yards, a guy that's big and physical, that can lean forward and wear down that front four. That's what you need. And then you also need a guy who can catch the ball out of backfield, give you that different type of dynamic. Why would you go out here and try to get guys that's one and the same? Now, I will say this. You need both running backs to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, right? Because the NFL is evolving, and you don't want your team to be one-dimensional. There was a time with the New Orleans Saints, I want to say maybe back 2014, 2015, and 2016. The Saints offense was so freaking predictable. When you seen the personnel that came into the game, you knew what they were going to do. When you seen Tavares Cadet, they were about to throw the ball. He was about trying to catch the ball out of the backfield. When you seen Joe Morgan, he was about to run a 9 route, a streak route down the field. They were all about to go deep. Devery Henderson, same thing. Robert Meacham, same thing. Lance Moore, seen that boy on the slide, it's 3rd down, 3rd and 5 or whatever like that. They need a first down. It was so predictable. So you don't want to fall into that trap. And you don't want a running back that one can catch the ball out of the backfield and the other one can't. And that was what made the Saints 2018 campaign so successful, because that was like one of the years where the light finally came on with Mark Ingram as a pass catching running back, because, he struggled when he first got to the Saints back in 2011. He wasn't the guy that was known for, the screen pass. He couldn't really catch that well. But as time progressed, Mark Ingram started to fall into that Pierre Thomas category. Pierre Thomas, to me, is one of the best screen runners of all time, right? Screen pass, Pierre Thomas, magic. Mark Ingram fell into that category towards the latter part of his first Saints campaign, right? That's when you start to see when he was catching those screen passes, he was making some things happen. So I do feel like both running backs need to be able to have the ability to catch. Now, you can have one running back that can catch the ball better than the other. That's fine, right? But I think that both need to have the ability to catch the ball. That way, your offense won't become so one-dimensional, and teams will be like, oh, well, this guy's in the game. They about to run the ball up the middle, or this guy in the game, look out for the pass, So I think both running backs, or even if you have 3, need to have the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. T30 said, "What up, TJ? The host. What's going on, T30? Uh, appreciate you being here. Well, what I'm gonna do right now, man, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines. See what you all have to say. What do you think about the running back position? Or you can feel free to, you know, talk about anything else you want to talk about. It's been a while since I opened up the phone lines, talk to you all. So got the link down there, man. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what you all think, and we'll just go from there. We'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go to I like Hassan Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. He's a big back too. Yeah, I like him too. You know, he's a guy that should get an honorary mention. I watched a little bit of his footage. I think he's way above average when it comes to pass protection. That's the one thing that I like about him. He's a guy that's a physical guy too. He's a guy that can wear down a defense. Now, the one thing I do like about him, being from Michigan, he knows about, Big Ten football. We know it's cold out there, and it's about running the football, in some of those inclement weather conditions. And I think that that's a plus for him. The only thing that really bothered me about him, man, it's just sometimes, man, it is looking at him run the football. He doesn't always read the right hole to me. You know what I'm saying? Like the hole, he doesn't always find it. All right. Sometimes, like, I just feel like he will bounce out the outside when there was a clear, opening right up the middle, or vice versa. And I was like, because I don't just look at the highlights, right? Everybody got highlights. They got highlights everywhere, highlights galore, right? I look at some of those games where they lose, right? Because here's the thing. You want to look at a player at their best, and you want to look at them when they're not at their best. And I just looked at some of the games that he had, even when he was out there, making plays. It was always to try to bounce out on the outside. Sometimes he was making the reads a little bit harder than what they had to be. It was, it was easier for him to run up the middle versus him running to the left or running to the right. But pass protection, he's above the rest. And I think that he can get even better at that. So that's a plus. That's a plus for me, in my opinion, about him. Already read that one. Your description of Samir White sounds like Chris Ivory. Yeah, that's a good example too. That's a good example. That's a good one too. Chris Ivory. A big physical guy, not afraid to shy away from contact. All right, but we're going to go to the OG of the State of the Saints podcast. We're going to go to Jerry. Jerry, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good, TJ. Welcome back.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Glad to be back, man. Glad to have you on the show, man. Really do appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since, man, I opened up the phone lines, but I appreciate you, man, always holding down the chat and always putting those comments in there, man. But what you got for us?
Well, I'm gonna get to the running backs in a little bit, but the Pelicans game just went halftime, and it ain't looking good right now, bro. But besides all that, just pray for them.
Yeah.
But I did see that that running back list that you had. Three of them. What I saw on there, I like one. Kenneth Walker from Michigan State,
right,
and Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M, and Brian Robinson Jr. from Alabama.
right.
I mean, the other two there are right, but I'm glad I did put in the chat. Forgot to mention running back James Cook, the brother of Dalvin Cook, Georgia.
Right.
So
yeah,
out of those running backs right there, I wouldn't mind taking either one of them, to draft in the NFL draft next week, because with the situation with Kamara,
Right.
You gonna need a running back. You know what I'm saying? To come in and fill that gap because
Yeah.
ain't no telling how many games Kamara gonna get. They're talking about between 6 and 8 or something like that. So you need
Right.
somebody that'll carry that load. That was okay. When Kamara returned from his suspension, I mean, along with this new running back, he'll pick up where he left off with this
Yeah.
guy coming in.
Yeah. That's what I
So
was looking at though, Jerry. That's what I was looking at because I don't want a guy to just simply replace Alvin because you can't, right? There's a reason
no,
why Alvin
okay.
Kamara is just so successful and so talented. His ability to be able to run in between the tackles, catch out of backfield, his immaculate balance. So trying to find a guy, I just feel like that would be a disservice to James Cook because when Alvin comes back, then where's James Cook going to be? And if Mark Ingram, let's just say, for example, end up knocking on wood when I say this, but if he end up getting hurt, you have two running backs that are virtually the same with the same skill set, the same, and I just feel like, okay, we know that Mark Ingram, I mean, he's on the other side of 30. Well, he's like 31, 32 years old. I mean, his best days at the running back position are behind him. So
Yeah.
we know that a lot of Alvin Kamara's best years are ahead of him. He's in the prime of his career. So where would that lead a guy like James Cook? He's not going to be getting the majority of the snaps. That's going to be Alvin Kamara. And a guy like James Cook, to me, if he add on like 10 or 15 pounds, he can be a feature back or even a feature back on some other team. So that's the reason why I just feel like you need a guy like Alvin who has that certain skill set, and you need a guy that's a sledgehammer. Like you mentioned, Brian Robinson. That's a sledgehammer right there. A guy that can wear down the defense, right?
Yep.
A guy like Kenneth Walker, who I feel like, to me, I don't look. There's no way, unless the Saints like draft him in the second round. There's no way he's going to be there around the third or fourth round. He's that talented. But for a guy like that can be able, even if Alvin was to catch the ball out of backfield, well, Kenneth Walker can run in between the tackles. And hell, I mean, I have him going somewhere like the New York Giants, right? That's why I feel a guy that can be an every down back. Something happens to Saquon, or you trade Saquon away. Kenneth Walker can be that guy. That's the way I look at it. So I feel like he has that skill set. So if you don't need him to catch the ball out of the backfield, guess what? He can run in between the tackles. He is a very talented guy. So, and the guy Damian Pierce I was talking about, he reminds me of Mark Ingram. But besides the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, I'm talking about him running in between the tackles. He reminds me of Mark Ingram. So I just think that I looked at it from a guy that was like 5'11", 6 feet, 215, 220, something like that. Because I'm looking at somebody to complement a guy like Alvin Kamara versus taking Alvin Kamara's place. Because Jerry, we know he's coming back. But James Cook, like, you definitely right. Like if I'm talking top 5 running backs, he definitely on the list. I mean, he probably like 2 or 3 in my opinion. He's that good.
And I agree with everything you were just saying, TJ.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen in the next few months after the draft and stuff. And I just saw that they released the 2022-23 football schedule for later this year. So we'll see where that go from there. But everybody been talking about these last couple of months, talking because the Saints got two picks in the first round, number 16 and 19.
Right.
So you already know what's on my mind. With the loss of Teron Armstead, now he's in Miami. He signed a big contract for 5 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to need another offensive tackle to fill that gap. And everybody in the chat, also shouts out to everybody in the chat. I forgot to say that.
You, man.
Who that to everybody? Go Pels. Hopefully they'll bounce back. But everybody knows the same thing I'm thinking, TJ. We need a wide. Everybody knows how bad that offense was last year. That's why we need a wide receiver and an offensive tackle, because now that Jameis is back, you're gonna have to have some offensive help with Winston at center again. Now he's back for
Right.
2 years.
Right.
So and everybody talking about will the Saints draft a quarterback in the first round? I said, no.
No, I'm
Ain't
not
gonna
buying
happen.
it.
Now maybe later in the draft, but not the first round. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind taking a quarterback like in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. I don't. It don't matter to me, but not
Yeah.
in the first round.
Yeah.
I want a wide receiver and
Me
an
too.
offensive tackle
Yeah.
to fill that gap. That's the only two things that's been
No
on my
argument
mind
here.
ever since this thing came out.
Yeah. No argument here. I think it's time. Jerry, I think that it's time out for the Saints to be, man, everybody know we're going to get a wide receiver, so we're going to get something else. No, man, you really
Nah,
need offensive help. I mean, I know it's weird, and
definitely.
this is uncharted territory. This is something that we really haven't addressed in like 15 years. Like, the offense is the Achilles heel of the New Orleans Saints. Now,
Exactly.
the defense, if you can build on what you did last year, you'll be fine. And we're all expecting for them to build on that. I mean, you got a lot of young guys who stepped up in prominent roles, and they did a really good job. And we're expecting them to take that next step. Guys like Paulson Adebo, guys like Pete Warner, right?
Yep.
Your offense needs help. And I just think that
That
it is
major help.
Look, to me, this would be completely negligent if the Saints do not address the offense in the first round. Right now, if you can get a guy like Jordan Davis, like I'm gonna just be honest with you, if you can get Jordan Davis, if you can get a big physical, like big guy like that, and he's there for you,
he's a big fella too now.
By all means, like okay, I'll let that slide. But offensive line, offensive tackle, right? Yes. We don't know if they're gonna move Ramchick from right to left. I don't know. And I heard somebody say in the chat who just came up talking about Landon Young. He did a good job at guard. Okay, whatever. But you need a wide receiver. You need You need a wide receiver,
big time,
in a major way, man. I cannot accept, as a fan, I cannot accept the New Orleans Saints not selecting a wide receiver, right? Mm-hmm. In the first round. I just can't. I just can't. Look, that's totally unacceptable. If you want to go get, let's just say at 19, or wide receiver should be that main priority.
Yes.
Even over the tackle position, because there's ways that you can kind of maneuver that. But you need to get yourself a wide receiver. That is imperative.
Yep, that's 100. That's 100. Everything you said, TJ, speak volume right there.
Yeah.
Because and really, you don't need a whole lot of defensive help, because we saw how dominant that defense was last year. Because you might well say, and shouts out to Hoodie Jube and Big Q and all the rest of the Saints content. When I told them this, I say, you ain't got to worry about the defense, because they already know their agenda. Because, as a matter of fact, the Saints defense was like the whole damn team. Because every time you come out there, every time the defense come out there, they do their stuff out there. But when their offense is out there, they act like they don't know what they're doing. Then 5 minutes later, they're back out there. That's all it was, man. And that's why I say, and everybody can agree with me in the chat when I say this, we need major help on the offense. The defense, you ain't got to worry about that. The offense, you do.
Yeah.
And that's why we need the major offensive help that we need. So when they go into 2022 later this year and the new season comes up, that offense is going to be on point like it was back then until now. And I told you, and I think I remember telling you this one time, TJ. And I said, if you think this wide receiving core is good, I hate to tell you this, but I lied. They were not. They were straight up hot freaking garbage, bro.
Trash, man.
Terrible. Only the wide receiver, the offense, the whole offensive lineman too.
Man, everybody was lost.
It's the same, bro.
Everybody was lost this past season offensively. Hopefully they can find it. And in a way, Jared, I'm glad that it happened. Look, there was a lot of injuries that happened. We all talked about 57 different variations of the same starting lineup. In a process, there's no more uncertainty. There's no more, well, for the exception of certain guys on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eastside Winston, I still feel like, you know what I'm saying, you need to give him a chance to, wide receiver, out of South Alabama. He had like a little bit of a red shirt season. There's a couple guys on the team that you can be like, man, all right, man, yeah, we don't know. But for the most part, we know who can play and who can't. And it happened all because of the injury. So it was a blessing in disguise. So when we see certain guys come into the game, we know what they about. Like, we know there's, Juwan Johnson showed a lot of promise. Then you have a guy like Traquan Smith, get his ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know who the ballers are. And we know who the guys that can step up and took advantage of those opportunities. A lot of teams don't have that because we all know they have that saying, the best player on the team is the backup. Well, we know that these backups that the Saints have aren't very good. So we know that we need to go in a different direction. And as Saints fans, we know what to expect. Like, okay, man, we know this ain't working. So why the hell aren't y'all doing anything about this? So when you see certain guys and them sitting on their hands and them not being as aggressive as they were when Deshaun Watson was out here, you have to wonder to yourself, what the hell is going on? And if they definitely don't address these situations in the draft, then I just think that as Saints fans, I think we need to be concerned. And, because we know who can play. We know who showed talent. We know who showed promise. So why aren't you fixing these situations? Offensively, they look terrible. Except when it was garbage time and then Trevor Siemian decided to be Peyton Manning for about 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. But that's not good enough, man. That's not good enough.
I agree 100% what you say, TJ.
Yeah. But I appreciate you, Jerry, man. Thank you for the commentary, man. It was nice to chop it up with you, man. And once again, like you said earlier, I hope the Pelicans be able to bounce back, man.
Yeah, me too, bro. Because unlike these referees are hating on the Pelicans, they're the same way they're hating on the Saints. They don't like it, but we don't care. We know how to bounce back after a disaster like that.
Hey, man, it's all good, man. Even them being in that position, you know what I'm saying? It shows you the testament how good and how, you know what I'm saying, how promising the future is for the Pelicans, man. I mean, look, the Suns are one of the best teams in the league, so it's expected for them to, you know what I'm saying, to be as good and give them the fight that they're giving them. But I mean, the Pelicans have really showed throughout the season, man. They got a lot of fight and they don't give up, man. So they definitely embody what New Orleans is all about. Huh?
And that's their slogan right there. They say they won't bow down. So, I mean, the only thing that I'm happy about, TJ, is that they made it to the playoffs. I'm happy for them. Right. Even if they don't make it to the next round, I'm still proud of them.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, they did a really good job. They fought really hard, and now they're there, man. So hopefully they can make it competitive. But Jared, thank you so much. Really do appreciate your time, man.
Anytime, TJ, and blessings to you and your and the family. Also, shouts out to everybody in the chat. I love you all, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. Who that? Go Pels and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to you, Jerry, man. Thank you for calling, man. Appreciate it.
All right, you have a blessed weekend, bro.
All right, you too, man. Yeah, man, that's the OG right there. Man, shouts out to him. I want to take this moment to thank the fine folks at manscaped.com who are the official sponsors of the State of the Saints podcast. They have their ultra premium package that's available right now. If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, State of Saints. You will save 20% off. And also, you can check out the Pigskin Podcast Network. That's right, the Pigskin Podcast Network. That is the home of the State of the Saints podcast. I am the representative of the New Orleans Saints on the Pigskin Podcast Network. Shouts out to Amaze Media Labs, Pigskin Podcast Network. Y'all check it out. Make sure that y'all subscribe to their channel and also follow them on Twitter for those that have a Twitter page. Okay, so make sure y'all check that out. All right, but let's get back into it. We're gonna go to Quinn. Quinn, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. How you been?
I've been groovy, brother. What are we talking about today?
Man, anything you want to talk about, man. I mean, the topic we're talking about the running back position in the NFL draft. But look, you know how we do it, man. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about.
Hey, okay, I got a little opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So lately y'all been talking about like with the offense and everything been going on, and with the off season and how everybody not signing this and that.
Right.
So my thing is, I think the thing is, the people that we going after, everybody that's like top free agents, for one, they up in age. So that means they looking for money. They're not even looking to win no more. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you think about it from our point of view, or if you were like an owner, coach, think about this. The last, 5 years we've been to the playoffs? 4-5 years we've been to the playoffs, and we got closer and closer. We have a young team. We still have a young team still, in a sense.
Right.
We have one of the best defense. Nobody can say we don't have a good defense.
True.
You know all this stuff, and guess what? Another thing was missing. Guess what was missing last year? We ain't had Thomas.
That's
so
true.
Think about all these things. You start realizing, like, man, if y'all don't want to come play with us, then we not about to kiss your butt to do it. Think about it. Like, if you see us, if you see what we doing, just think about last year. If you see what they did, how they was winning last year, that should let you know they have a potential to do something. So that lets you know if you in it for the win or for the money. That's what everything is being shown, is that these people a lot of these people right now are playing for the money.
Right. Well, look, Quinn, hold that thought, because I want to go ahead and say this. Look, I can completely understand. I completely understand where they're coming from. You've been in the league for a long time. You're reaching 8-9 years. We know that your shelf life is about to come to an end. Right. Everybody wants to get that last paycheck before they check out. Right. So I can't knock them for that. But I will say this. It's not so much about them wanting to sign with the Saints, more so than the Saints inquiring about them. Because, look, just think about this. A couple weeks ago, right, Quinn? Everybody was talking about Tyra Matthew. Tyra Matthew in New Orleans. Tyra Matthew in Baton Rouge, chilling at LSU. How bad would that look if the Saints allowed Tyra Matthew to get on a red eye, head back to wherever he's staying at, whether he was in Arizona or Missouri, wherever he got a house at somewhere, and they didn't talk to him? Yeah, everybody in New Orleans, that Saints fan, like, man, why you ain't holler at Tyra Matthew? 2-time first team All-Pro, one of the best safeties in football. Why you ain't holler at him? Guys like, Jarvis Landry still got a lot left in the tank. He's out there right now. How bad would that look if the Saints didn't holler at him? Right? Didn't bring him in, didn't call about him. So I can completely understand why the New Orleans Saints did what they did. And I can also understand why these dudes trying to get their bread. It's no different between me and you, right, Quinn? You work at a place for X amount of time. Let's just say, for example, they got another job over here, do the same thing you're doing right here, right? They all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have all this experience. You go over there and be like, okay, man, we're going to offer you this. Nah, man, look at all this experience I got, right? I can't go up in here on some entry level ish, right? I want some more money, right? I'm proving, you know what I'm saying? So you see the resume, you know what I'm saying? You see the track record, so it's no different. So I can understand from a certain standpoint, but I do feel if you see a team building something special, it should be an incentive for you to sign.
Right. I'm starting to feel like it's an ego situation. Like I feel like they just not stroking people's egos like everybody else do. I don't think they selling a dream. Right. In that sense. I think that's the problem. Right. You get what I'm saying? Everybody want to feel special, this and that when they getting signed. You know what I'm saying? It's just the ego. You know what I'm saying? It's deserved, but sometimes you have to put that to the side until you get on the team. Right. Because you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times they just, I don't know, I don't know what it is about the Saints and the NFL world, but it's like they play with them like they not good. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem I have. Is the fact that it's like we're not a bad team. They act like we the Falcons or somebody. You know what I'm saying? They act like we somebody that just clean house. We ain't clean house. We still got our players. You know what I'm saying? They act like we the Falcons.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Like if you think about everybody in NFL, nobody actually doing nothing in free agency. If you want to be honest with you. Everybody's doing trade. Mostly everybody's doing trades. Nobody really getting free agents off the market, really, bro. You think about it.
That's a good point, Quinn. But I want to say this too. Think about this, man. All right, you come into the league, right? You come out of college. Like we talking about the draft right now. You actually, when you go to the draft, you have no say so and who select you, right? Let's just say, okay, Quinn, man, you had a good college career, man. You went to LSU, right? Played this position right here. Then you have to go to the Lions. They trash, right? And you have to commit at least 4 to 5 years of your life to a trash organization that ain't gonna make the playoffs, that most likely ain't gonna be above 500 majority of the time that you there. But finally, after 5 years of aptitude, 6 years in aptitude, you get opportunity to go wherever the hell you want to go, right? I mean, yeah, come on, man. Think about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get an opportunity to go wherever you want to go. Somebody give you a free plane ticket. Say, Quinn, man, you can go anywhere you want to go, right? Anywhere in the world. Just name it, right? I mean, that's what these guys are experiencing. So I can't get mad. Look, as a Saints fan, and you can, you know what I'm saying? We on the same level. Why wouldn't you want to play for the New Orleans Saints? This is a good, solid organization. They showed a lot of promise. They're one of the best teams in the NFC. You know, one of the best defenses. Why wouldn't you want to play for them? But at the same time, this is for the first time in your career where you have opportunity to choose your destination. You have opportunity to choose. Rather, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? I want to live on the beach. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I want to go play in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? And rub elbows with the Hollywood superstars. This is the first time they have this opportunity, man. So I mean, I can completely understand that. This is the first time that they free. It's called free agent. You know, but I do think that people need to be, you know, I do think that people need to be realistic though. If you 30 plus, like you said, you on borrowed time and the phone ain't ringing like it once did, and a team like the Saints call you, I think you should, you know, open your eyes and be like, okay, man, maybe this is the best spot. But go ahead, man. You got anything else?
I think in the draft, I think we're gonna do good in the draft though. I know everybody running about the draft. I think we're gonna do pretty good. We don't really need much, but we just need offense. You know what I'm saying? Just lock in offense.
Right.
If they get a couple people on offense, I'm cool. Like, it's like we don't really need much. We just need people that's like really. You know what I think it is? I just thought of something. I think it's because of what's buddy name that we gave our drafts for?
Ricky Williams.
I feel like they just trying not to make them mistakes again by giving everything they offer a name. Right. I feel like they learned their lesson in a sense. I feel like that's why they don't go out their way to look at names as much no more. Right. I think that's what they doing because think about it. Think about this. At that time, everybody was mad. Like, everybody was mad at the Saints when they did that. Literally, everybody.
No.
That was like they was going crazy on. So they probably like in their head like, let's not do this ever again. Right. So we see what it did. It backfired on all levels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, great point. I was a kid when that happened. As trash as the Saints was in the late 90s, I still was like, what the hell were they doing? But I will say this. You can't do that, right? You can't do that right now. The Saints have to build their team through the draft once again. They got to be able to catch lightning in a bottle like they did in 2017. They can't afford, like, to me, Quinn, as much as I like Jarvis Landry and much as I respect him, the Saints don't need him. Right. I said this a couple weeks ago, man, and shouts out to my guy Matt Moscona, who said this the other day. He was like, Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas pretty much the same wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? You can get you, bro. Why would you want to pay a guy like Jarvis Landry, who probably want the same type of money as Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, when you can get a guy like Olave on a rookie deal that probably possess more of a different skill set than that of a Jarvis and can be a completely different dynamic than that of a Michael Thomas. Why would you want, like, we all know that this is a deep draft for wide receivers. You can find a wide receiver probably in the third round that can probably be a game breaker 4 or 5 years from now. So why are you up here sitting up here, wasting your time? Like I said, I understand why they brought him in because he's Jarvis freaking Landry and he's available.
Right.
But why would you waste your money and your time on a guy who's 29, 30 years old when you can get a 21, 22 Chris Olave that's going to give you at least about 6, 7 tops years of production at the wide receiver position? It just don't make no sense to me. It don't.
So what's your name, your number one concern? Like what let me see what I'm trying to say. What position do you want to see them draft and you know what I'm saying?
Quinn, wide receiver, bro. Wide receiver. Right. Okay. Wide receiver. Look, we talking about running backs tonight because for months we've been talking about the same thing. Like since early 2022, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. We've been talking about them boys need wide receivers when the season was going on.
Yeah.
They need a wide receiver. That's what you need to address. Offensive lineman would be the next thing.
You want
Yeah. First round.
Who you see a good matchup with Thomas?
Chris Olave, George Pickens. I think I like George Pickens' intensity, the wide receiver out of Georgia. He's physical. He's a bully. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a little bit faster, and you know what I'm saying? He has that vertical leap. I think that he's extremely talented. He's not so much like Michael Thomas. He's a little bit faster than him. But Chris Olave, to me, possesses everything that you want in a wide receiver. If something was to happen, look, Chris Olave to me is so good that you can find yourself in a Brandon Cooks situation. How Brandon Cooks was drafted by the Saints in the first round, and Michael Thomas came along the next year, or year after next, and they drafted him and they made Brandon Cooks expendable. It can be the same situation that happened to Michael Thomas. And if you choose to keep both of those guys, they can be the best tandem in the NFL, pending both of these guys stay healthy. That's how much respect I have for Chris Olave. So I like Jameson Williams, but Chris Olave is my guy.
So you heard about the news with Devo. So you think they're gonna really do something with him? You think they're gonna try to do something?
I think. Look, to me, I think that it's I'm gonna say a peeing contest, but y'all know what a pee I'm talking about. I think that Deebo Samuel's, well within his rights, deserves to be a featured wide receiver. Dude don't want to be sitting around here playing running back, right? He feels like by doing that, it's taking away from his production as a wide receiver from being an all-time great. And plus, you put more wear and tear on this dude's body before he had a contract. Like, I can't knock him for that. So I feel like both parties are going to eventually, be able to kiss and make up. But I just think that he wants a certain amount of money. And they're going to have to show him the money. If he playing, if he's averaging 16 yards or 18, I want to say 16 yards average as a wide receiver, one of the tops in the National Football League, one of the greatest of all time as far as statistics. If you're going to make me be a running back, man, you got to throw some extra money on me, and I need to be up there with the Tyreek Hills based on that. So dude need to get paid. I think they're going to pay him. I just think that it's about a leverage game. And
you don't think he really want to leave?
No, I don't. I think that it was a conversation between him and his agent, and the agent is doing the right thing, man. The agent job is to make sure that he does what's best for his client, and the client has to play along because the agent is just fighting to give him extra money. They're going to pay him the money. If they don't, who the hell else they gonna get, Quinn? Brandon Ayuk is talented, but he ain't Deebo Samuel. So, you're not going to find it. And they don't have a first-round pick because, they get that to get Trey Lance. So you don't have a first-round pick. So you don't. If he leaves, where's your number one receiver? Who you going to get? So you have to find a way to pay him.
I got one last question. So you locked in? So you locked in strongly with Jameis?
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
So you don't think we need to get nobody else, or what you
Nope.
think on that? Like nobody.
Nope.
No backup. What about the backup wise? Who you can
backup?
see, like,
I mean, as a backup, I mean, you already
something like that. Like, who you think they should get in a sense so that they can, just in case something do happen, they got him and they got him. You get what I'm saying? Who you think is that person?
Look, you got Jameis as a starter. Mm-hmm. You got a solid backup in Andy Dalton, and you know what I'm saying, in case something happened. This ain't the year, bro. Like, for real. Jameis deserves to fall flat on his face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, period. Like, we up here, like, man, I feel like as a Saints fan, we judging this dude based on what he did in Tampa, not what he did in New Orleans. Because if we were judging Jameis on what he did in New Orleans, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, man, if your argument about Jameis is, he throw too many interceptions, he turned the ball over too much. Dude had 3 picks last season, 3, and he had 14 touchdowns. So he had a good touchdown to interception ratio. So if your issue was him turning the ball over and he wasn't turning the ball over, what the problem is? It shows you in a better situation, in a better organization, they can coach certain things out of him. And he wanted to be better. The dude deserves to fall flat on his face. Now, if he sucks, Quinn, here's the thing. If he's not good, the Saints start losing. Then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you find yourself in a position where you can probably draft yourself a quarterback or trade for a quarterback. And we all know, which all the stories have come out, that Sean Payton wanted to go to the Dolphins, so he wanted to coach this year. So you still have that in your back pocket. So even if they gave up all that draft, that trade to Philly, who's supposed to get their first round pick next year, if Sean Payton comes into the league and a team wants him, they still can get a first round pick back. Mm-hmm. And you know the team that most likely want to get Sean Payton via trade and him to, accept it will be a team that's not good. So they're going to be probably in the top 5. So you might find yourself getting yourself a top 5 quarterback next year. So honestly, build around this dude. Give him the opportunity.
Yeah, I believe him. I think everybody don't look like, I don't know what it is, man. That man very talented, man. He just didn't have the same help that Tom got. That's just as simple as it is. And what I'm saying? Buddy really know how to throw. Like, that's one thing nobody can say. Nobody can say he can't throw. Like, boy, that man is dangerous when it comes to throwing the ball.
Nice, man.
So that's why I say, in my opinion, I think we are good. I just think they just need to start figuring out what they about to do. Camara situation, and get that handled. I think that's the major thing that nobody really talking about, is really taking care of that. That's the thing you got to really take care of.
Right.
You need a running. We don't have a running back without Camara. We literally don't have a running back.
Right.
Like Ingram, bro, like he's on the team, but he's more like a veteran that just be there. He helps the younger guys at this point. He's not nobody about to give us 10 to 5 yards each game. You get what I'm saying? So we need to really, like, that's what we need to worry about, is who can we get that can at least replace him for a minute. You get what I'm saying? Because we know he's gonna be gone regardless. Like, he's gonna be suspended.
Yeah.
But we gotta figure out who can we get. We gotta get somebody to replace him at least for that moment. And that's all I think our problem is really the most, is that running back position. Because once we get Thomas back, everything should be at float. And I ain't gonna lie, I think when Thomas come back, I think this is gonna be Traquan Smith make or break year. If he don't do good this year, you gone. You gotta.
He broke. Like, honest, man, Quinn, he broke, man. I'm sorry. Like, I like Traquan. Respect to him, man. Good dude.
I think what it is, I think he can't handle a pressure of being that top. I think he can do it. I just can't. I don't think he know.
Why you want him? Why you want him then, Quinn? Like, honestly, man. Like, bro, I just be 100, bro. You out with your homeboys at the club. If you out with your homeboys at the club, man, y'all chilling, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, something break off. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude looking at y'all sideways. You looking at your boy. You looking at, like, do you want a square in that group at that time, man? You want somebody that's lacking at that time? No. That's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? You want some dudes that's gonna be able to step up. So man, you don't want to do that shakes under pressure and fold like a cheap tent, bro. I don't want that, man. I like Traquan as a person. I think he means well, and he is a good blocker as a wide receiver. But Dude had time after time, chance after chance. When an undrafted free agent comes in and a team anoints him a number one over you who were drafted, I don't need to see no more, bro. Like, seriously, man. Honestly, they signed him back, but I don't feel like that's a guarantee. Like, he go out there and he stink it up, get cut. Straight up.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, but Quinn, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your questions, man. Call back anytime.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy, man. Yeah, man, look, I like Traquan. I do. Talented dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a certain skill set. I think that, he can be around the league, but that ain't it, bro. I don't want no dudes lacking. I don't want nobody on my team lacking. If he lacking, what you need him around for? At the wide receiver position, you got to have a level of confidence. If you carrying a dude's shoulder pass because you haven't even made the team, you know what I'm saying? If you look at a coach sideways, they'll cut you. Still walk up into that facility like you the best wide receiver on the team. And the only thing that's separating you from the number one is opportunity. And if you're not acting like that, why are you on my field? Why are you on my team? Seriously, I don't need no well wishes and good old, and howdy doody cats playing a wide receiver position, man. You need some dogs. You cannot at the NFL level be around this thing just walking around. Oh, I'm just so happy to be here. Oh, I'm playing today. I'm on the list. No, man, take advantage of your opportunities because there's always another dude that's waiting in the wings to take your spot, man. I guarantee you, Traquan come out there at training camp with that same mind frame. Oh, my ankle hurt. Oh, my hamstring hurt. Oh, my knee hurt. Oh, and out there half stepping. Somebody's going to come in and take this dude's spot. Straight up. There's no reason for a guy like Jameis Winston, who's in his first year starting, is chewing out a guy who has been a starter for 4 seasons strong. You kidding me? I can't accept that. I can't accept it. 985, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What up, TJ, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. Up here driving to Shreveport, man. And
okay. All right, be safe out there, man. Be safe out there.
Yeah, bro. I'll be back in the morning, bro. But
okay.
Yeah, man. I was on here listening, man. I pray you enjoy your trip, man.
Man, had a great time, man. Had a great time. Like, had so much fun, man. Just chilling with my wife and son, man. It was amazing, bro.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
what
bro,
you got for me, though, man?
Hey, man, I don't want to hold the line up too long, man. But
go ahead, man.
Yeah, what you were just saying about Traquan or whatever, for as with that, man, I agree, bro. Like, I feel like if we sign, like, if we were to sign Jarvis Landry or whatever, and we draft another wide receiver, Traquan gone, bro.
Done.
Gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said with the other caller on the phone, this man allowed an undrafted dude to come in last year, take the number one spot over him, that a guy that, basically was drafted or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This man, an undrafted dude, no way he's supposed to be in the number one spot or whatever. And he had more yards than you throughout the whole season. Like, he wasn't even Marcus Callaway was getting the number ones. Like, okay, he was getting the number one cornerbacks or whatever. Like, what was you doing, bro? You was like number 3, bro. You should have been getting open. You should have been able to get, reception yards, bro. What was you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, bro, he's a good dude, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, he ain't got that dog in him, bro.
None at all.
Got that dog in him, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need on this team, bro. We need that dog mentality like Michael Thomas got, bro. When it comes to a wide receiver, these dudes, man, these dudes don't care. Like, when you get on their line, hey, they looking at you like, hey, bro, I'm about to take you out, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Traquan, when he get to the line or whatever, he kind of like, well, if you're going to take me out, I guess you're going to take me out then, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just stand here, bro, and just let you punk me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, nah, bro. football is a man sport, bro. It's like a gladiator sport, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
Like I told my son
I agree.
before. Yeah. Hey, I told my son, bro, when Robert Alford had did a camp in Hammond or whatever. I'm from Hammond, bro. So Robert Alford, I went to school with Robert Alford in high school or whatever. So but he did a camp or whatever in Hammond. So my son was up there, you know, in the camp or whatever. He's young, he about like 6 or 7, you know. So but they had him out there tackling the bag or whatever. I'm over there like, bro, hit the bag, bro, hit the bag. And he over there like, he run up to the bag, start hitting the bag, like punching it or whatever. I'm like, no, bro.
When Mike Tyson on a plane.
Yeah, he over there trying to karate chop the bag and stuff. I'm like, bro, no, hit the bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, knock it over, hit it. So that's the type of stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? With Traquan, bro, he gotta realize, hey, bro, these men is professionals, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right. You want to be a professional, you get up here on Sunday, bro. You gotta make yourself known, bro. You gotta make your blueprint. You gotta make your, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make these dudes respect you or whatever. Them dudes don't respect him when he line up against them, bro.
They do not.
They don't respect him, bro.
Bro,
you know
I'm gonna tell you like this. Look, this pretty much sums everything up about Traquan. The only team that gave this boy a visit was the Falcons. You have played the Falcons for 5 years, right? They seen you. They got so much tape on you to it's ridiculous. They got more tape on you probably than the Saints do.
Right.
And you walked out that facility without a deal. That tells you everything you need to know, bro. Because,
man.
I mean, honestly, man, like I like Traquan, but you have to have a dog mentality in order for you to be able to sustain sustain in the National Football League, and he does not have it. There's no knock on him. Some guys got it, and some guys don't, and he's one of those guys that don't have it. Seriously, man, you have a head start on the playbook, and you allow another dude, an undrafted free agent, to come in. 2, if you want to be honest, if you want to count Deontay Harris or Deontay Hardy, you got 2 of them making more plays than you. Yep. It's sad, man. It's sad, bro. Like, for real. I would not be surprised if this dude don't make the squad. Seriously. Right. I mean, look around, man. Like, look around. Okay, no time is, he's certified. If they draft a wide receiver, they ain't about to cut him. Then you have Callaway, who had all that experience as being at number 1. Then you have Deontay Hardy, who's going to come in, going to have his kick return / slide or whatever they have him doing. Then you have guys like Eastside Winston. You know what I'm saying? You got other guys that's going to come in we ain't seen. You got Lil Jordan Humphries, who played better. And when he was out there, you know what I'm saying, really showed a lot of promise. So where you at? Where you fit in? All right. I mean, on the stretch or a half-pack toast, okay, that's cool. But we can, you know what I'm saying, wide receiver, we can get them to block. That's all I'm saying, man. I don't know, man. No disrespect, but that ain't it, bro. That ain't the answer.
Right. And that's true, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you on a team, bro. They giving you opportunity after opportunity. Last year, bro, he should have made that leap, bro. You know what I'm saying? Michael Thomas wasn't there, bro. He should have made that leap, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't, bro. You know? And that's crazy, man. Like
I'm disappointed,
said, bro. This man, you got drafted, bro. You got drafted, bro. These dudes not even drafted. They didn't even supposed to make the team. They supposed to be in Eastside Winston. They supposed to be in, what's this other guy? What's the little other guy we drafted? Quan Baker.
Quan Baker.
They supposed to be in them type of dudes on practice squads or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the resume. You know, like, but that's one thing about, I think, like, I watch college football or whatever, but it don't excite me as much as NFL because I look at it like this. A lot of them dudes or whatever that's playing in college, they playing because they on a scholarship or whatever. They just trying to get their education and stuff, you know what I'm saying, which is good, you know. But most of them not really going to make it to the NFL anyway, and they know that. You know what I'm saying? So they out there playing that. Most of them like, man, I'm not finna get hurt out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm trying to
saving themselves for the
yeah. They like, I'm not trying to get hurt out here. You know what I'm saying? And most of them already know, like, I'm not gonna make it to the NFL anyway. So, you know, and you playing against these dudes, that's not gonna make it anyway. You know what I'm saying, in college. So, you know, like, do we really know how good you really are? Like, he doing good in college or whatever. Like, that's cool. But then when you get up in here in the pros, where you got dudes that pretty much live, eat, sleep, and drink football, right. You know what I'm saying? It really shows, like, who got that dog mentality, bro.
Yep, that's true, man. I mean, the NFL has a way of showing you who the contenders and the pretenders are, man. And, you know, it also shows you, you know, there's a lot of these guys that spent their whole entire life, everybody telling them how great they are. Man, right. That don't mean nothing. You know, you see dudes, man, I was the Belinda Cup winner, I was the Heisman Trophy winner, man, I won the Remington Award. Man, that don't mean nothing when you're in the National Football League. Some of the greatest players that ever played the game ain't won a trophy in college.
Right.
It's about mano a mano, me lined up against you. Who the best, right? And if you don't have it, then, you know, somebody else going to step in and take your spot, man, because they're going to be more hungrier than you. But 95, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call. Call back anytime, man.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Who that to y'all, man?
Yeah, who that? Thank you, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you can't be pretending in the National Football League. You can't do that. But we're going to go ahead and finish up this list, man. We're going to finish up this list. We got two more running backs we didn't address. All right, and then we're going to get up out of here. We got Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama. Pretty sure everybody knows about Brian Robinson Jr. 6'1", 225 pounds, big physical guy. Has been at, you know, Alabama for about 3 years. And he's a guy, man, that has, you know, shared the backfield with a couple guys, shared the backfield with a couple really talented running backs. So he still has some tread on the tire. The only thing that bothers me, pass protection, of course. And also, he needs a lot to be desired, you know, as a runner. And I'm always kind of skeptical about Alabama running backs. Now, I know that there are a few out there that are exception. Like, you know, I mean, you got Derrick Henry, who is an exception, Mark Ingram, who's an exception. But a lot of these Alabama running backs, man, to me, they just run these dudes down to the ground. And a lot of these guys aren't, you know what I'm saying, they're really living up to the expectations of being Alabama running back. Now, Najee Harris, he started off strong and kind of tapered off. And I guess it was just the longevity of the NFL season. You know, it's different from playing in the SEC, playing in college football. But Brian Robinson, I think that he could give you a little bit of something, you know, a good complimentary back to, you know, Alvin Kamara. He doesn't so much reminds me of Mark Ingram. He reminds me a lot of Rashad Penny. You know, a big physical guy can get you a first down, you know, fight for some extra yards and kind of wear down the defense, right? So it's not on that Mark Ingram tip to me. I just think that, you know, like I said, Rashad Penny would be a good comparison with Brian Robinson. But, you know, running at 4.5, I'm not really concerned about that because, look, there are no pads, and, you know, there's no, you know, shoulder pads on no helmet or anything like that. That don't really impress me. Like the NFL Combine, that's just, you know, for those, you know, journalists to write about. And, oh, wow, he left the 225 45 times. It's impressive and stuff, man. But he ain't bench pressing in, you know, on Sunday. You ain't doing that. You ain't bench pressing on no Sunday, right? You ain't doing no vertical leap competition, no shuttle, you know what I'm saying, no shuttle runs and no 40-yard dashes on Sunday. It's about who's better, right? So that don't bother me. I think he has good instincts. I think that he's a really good one-cut back, and I think that he will run you over if necessary. And I think that he can be a good complementary. I don't think that he can be an every down feature back. I just think that over the course of time he'll wear down and injuries would occur. So, but I think that he would be a good complement to a guy that has a skill set like Alvin Kamara. And, of course, a guy that I feel like won't be there, you know, for the New Orleans Saints would be Kenneth Walker III. a guy that I feel can be a feature back, a guy that's most likely probably going to be the first running back taken off the board based on his skill set. We know he won the Doak Walker Award. He came from Wake Forest. He transferred to Michigan State. In his first game, he scored 4 touchdowns, man, and he just took college football by storm as soon as he put on that Spartan uniform. To me, I think that he's going to be a top running back. I think that he has all the skills and ability to be one of the best running backs in football as long as he stays healthy. His skill set, his ability to me, if I was looking at running backs, his skill set to me, and I want to say not because they went to the same school, but Le'Veon Bell, his patience to allow the offensive line to block and him find holes. Sometimes I think that there's one thing that bothers me is sometimes that he just tries to beat the linebacker or the defensive player to the boundary. I just think that sometimes when you can run up the middle and it's open, but instead he stops, he tries to cut and tries to beat the guy to the boundary. That's something that he's going to have to work on because you ain't going to be able to do that in the National Football League. You got linebackers that's faster than you. You got corners, of course, that's faster than you. Hell, you probably got defensive ends that can beat you to the edge. So here's the thing. That's something I feel like he needs to work on, but he has everything that you're looking for. He can catch the ball. He's good at pass protection. He can run in between the tackles, but I just think that sometimes he wants to channel his inner rookie, Reggie Bush, and try to beat somebody to the boundary, and that's not going to work in the National Football League. But he has everything that you're looking for, and I think that he's going to be I think he's going to be the first running back taken off the board. I really feel that way. Going to go to Tucker Ram, said Traquan has more lives than a cat. That's because he was drafted by the Saints. Teams don't want to just give up on the players that they actually draft because that would be an indication that they made a mistake. And teams don't want to feel that way. They want us as fans to feel like they got everything figured out. And if you watch Traquan Smith play, you'll have to say that the Saints don't have everything figured out. All right. But teams are willing to give guys opportunities. But could be one of those situations like PJ Williams, right? PJ Williams. Man, he know where the body's buried. Man, he must got some incriminating pictures on Sean Payton. Why are they keep on signing this dude? Then all of a sudden, man, they need to sign back PJ. I was one of them. So I'm not going to go out here and judge anybody. I was one of those people. The term smoke like brisket, burnt like a biscuit here on the State of the Saints podcast came from me talking about PJ Williams. So maybe it can be one of those situations. I hope, I pray. But we know that teams like to keep those guys that they draft around because they want to give these guys opportunities to prove themselves. And I just think that Traquan falls into that category. No, but I bet they'll have him doing that anyway, especially if he ends up with those weapons. I don't know if we're talking about Jameis or not. Glad to have you back after your vacation, TJ. Jerry, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back, man. I feel well refreshed. I mean, when you've done over 900 episodes of something, I've done over 900 episodes of State of the Saints podcast. It's good to, be able to recharge the batteries, man. And, I mean, I ain't got no problem with social media, but sometimes I just like to, tune out, right? Be able to sit back and chill, and not just, have to, be on it all the time. Sometimes it felt good, man, not just, looking at my phone every 5 minutes, wondering what's happening so I can, come out here and do something. I was able to, be spontaneous, man, do some different things with my family. Took my son, to a petting zoo. He's out there driving, through the petting zoo, and he's able to feed the animals and stuff like that. Man, it's a great time. It's a great experience, man. Me and my wife, went to Atlanta. She wanted to check out the Candy Burris restaurant, man. We went out there, man. I mean, it was just fun, man. It was just fun. Sometimes you have to check out sometime and sit back and look at, life and realize, man, just check out a little bit. Cook from Georgia is my guy. Hey, do it all back. Yeah, Corey, but if you're just tuning in, I just feel like his skill set is similar to Alvin Kamara. And I just think that, that might be an issue for him, not Alvin. Or Ford from Cincinnati. Yeah, I like Ford too. I mean, he almost made the list. But, I just think that those guys, their makeup, their ability, playing on a big stage. I mean, Ford did too. I mean, they won a college football playoff. I understand that. But I'm talking about consistent big games, consistent big moments, right? You look at this list, man, some of these guys on this list, man, they played in some of the biggest games. And they played against some of the biggest teams in college football to give these guys the experience, right? And each one of these guys at one particular moment has taken over a game that we actually remember throughout college football. And I understand that it's good to look at some of these guys at smaller schools, and they've had guys that be able to, break through coming from smaller schools. And of course, me graduating from a smaller school in Jackson State University would love to see some of those guys that are talented make it. But it's okay to draft a guy who has played in big moments. It's okay to draft a guy who has played on a big stage. And we've had these conversations on this show about how the Saints just, take a canoe ride, walk up a big mountain and talk to a sorcerer to tell them that a kid from North Dakota Community College who went to Township University will be your defensive end at 6'7", 265 pounds. And they show you who he is. Like, man, it's okay to be able to draft a guy that we all know. And when they say their name, we ain't got to go on Wikipedia to find, right? All of these guys have played in big moments. All of these guys have proven themselves, and it's okay. It's okay to draft a guy like that. Sometimes I wish the Saints would draft a guy like that. When was the last time that the Saints drafted a guy that everybody was like, ooh, snap, right? I have to say, not even Brandon Cooks. And Brandon Cooks won the Belindakoff Award. When's the last? Reggie Bush, maybe? 2006, where everybody, oh, yeah. Last time, like, really, you didn't have to look and be like, the same draft. I mean, even Cam Jordan, as great as Cam Jordan was, everybody didn't know who Cam was. Mark Ingram, I guess you can say Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram won the Heisman Trophy. But come on, man, it's okay to draft guys who have played in big moments, who show you, obviously, that they can get the job done. That's all I'm saying. It's obvious they can get the job done. It's okay. All right, we're going to take a few more and we're going to get up out of here. Not Saints related, but FAMU over Jackson State in the Orange Blossom Classic this year. Jared, we all can dream. We all can dream, but, that's not going to happen. Jackson State going to slap them boys on the ground and head back to Jackson. Jared also said, TJ, we know it all about the boom. Yeah, all about the boom, man. FAMU, I have nothing against them. Great school. Actually visited their campus when I was in high school out there in, Tallahassee, not too far from Florida State, but it's all about Jackson State University, the Jackson State University that, that's what it's all about, man. We went in a swag game. We went in the HBCU National Championship. Davenport could have been that guy. No, he couldn't. He couldn't have been that guy because I didn't know who Davenport was. And neither did you. Unless you like knee deep in Road Runner football, there's nowhere in the world you knew who Marcus Davenport was. You didn't watch Marcus Davenport play at UTSA. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It just what happened. Okay. I stayed in Texas. Never heard of the dude at the time. I never heard of him. Never heard of him. But Davenport is good. I mean, he's proven that he's talented, but I mean, it's okay to draft a guy that you actually know. Okay, it's okay. Jameis should have a field day with those weapons. 81-79. Suns Pelicans staying on them, headed to the fourth quarter. Well, that's good, man, because I'm going to go ahead and check out this game. I'm going to go ahead and check out the fourth quarter. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for being so patient, man. And, I'm glad to be back, man. Glad, to hear from you all, man. Shouts out to Jared. Shouts out to 985 Live. Shouts out to Quinn. Those that called in. make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, and also part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. And honestly, man, I'm going to start. There's going to be a new channel that's going to come out. It's going to be the State of the Saints Podcast Clips. Okay, for those that don't want to check out an hour and 36 minutes podcast, I'll break down like certain points, and we're going to make it into a short clip. So it's going to be the State of the Saints Podcast Clips. That's going to be launched next week. So for those that just want to check out a certain topic, I'll pick a certain topic about the New Orleans Saints. I'll make a video, and we'll be posting it on the State of the Saints Podcast Clip. So that's going to be starting next week. Make sure that when that comes out, that y'all subscribe to that too. Make sure that you hit that like button if you enjoyed the State of the Saints Podcast episode. And go Pels, man. Make sure, let's try to see if we can get this win. All right. Till next time. All I got to say is,